Today, we continue discussing the Exchange 2013 anti-spam functionality with sender ID filtering. We first look at how this filter works and then go through the various configuration options. Sender ID is intended to combat sender address spoofing. Spammers very often use a fake sender address, hoping to trick recipients in believing that an email is from a trusted source. Here is how it works. The filter determines the source IP and the sender address of an incoming email. For example, let's say the IP is 1111 and the sender is bill@adminstop.com. The filter performs a DNS lookup against the sender domain adminstop.com, trying to retrieve an SPF record. SPF allows domain owners to publish the list of host IPs, from which emails may originate. If the owner of adminstop.com publishes an SPF record at its DNS, it can tell whether IP 1111 is a legitimate email source for adminstop.com. With this information, sender ID catches sender address forging attempts. Clearly, sender ID depends on the publication of SPF records. If no SPF record is published for adminstop.com, this test cannot be performed. We will not go into details, just be aware that even if an SPF record is published, this might not provide enough information for sender ID to reach a definitive conclusion. So the sender ID may return pass, fail, or some inconclusive result. Pass is returned when the source IP is allowed to submit emails for the sender domain. Fail is returned when the source IP is not allowed to submit emails for the sender domain. The sender is deemed to be forged. Inconclusive results include a number of scenarios when the filter cannot give a pass or fail. We manage sender ID using the sender ID config commandlets. To turn it on or off, we set the enabled parameter to true or false. Next, we configure how sender ID deals with emails failing the test we just described, using the spoof domain action parameter. Here we choose from delete, reject and stamp. Delete and reject immediately block email delivery. Stamping simply inserts a header recording the test result. This information can then be used to help the content filter in establishing the final email classification. We can exclude some recipients from having their emails filtered by sender ID. These are added to the bypass recipients list. To learn more about working with lists like bypass recipients, check the first part of this video series. We can also exclude sender domains from sender ID filtering. The domains are configured at the bypass sender domains list. These are the most important sender ID settings. To test the filter, it is best to configure the spoof domain actions to stamp processed emails. We can then easily observe how sender ID is classifying emails from the email headers. Look for the header X MS Exchange Organization sender ID result. This could have a value of pass, fail, neutral, soft fail, none, temp error or perm error. We discussed what pass and fail mean. All the other results are inconclusive and identify different reasons why the filter couldn't reach a pass-fail result. We conclude the fourth part of our video series here. Today, we configured sender ID filtering. We saw how this filter works and the most important set of options that are required when enabling this filter. In the next part, we continue working with more anti-spam filters. Subscribe to the WinDeveloper YouTube channel for the next part of this video series.